Today we are talking about the lunar cycle. But what is the lunar cycle? The lunar cycle is the changing appearance of the moon's shape in the sky because of the path the moon takes around our Earth. First off, here is our Earth, our home, but you already knew that. Next, here is the Sun. Our Earth travels around the Sun in an orbit, just like how the moon travels around Earth. Light from the Sun always shines on half of the moon. However, what we see of the bright half of the moon from Earth is not always the same shape. This is because the moon is orbiting us, changing position. On Earth, we see 8 different phases of the moon. We can see the moon grow into a big glowing disk, then shrink back as it vanishes into the sky. And all this can be demonstrated using Oreo cookies. The icing of these Oreo cookies will represent how the moon looks to us from Earth during each of the phases in the lunar cycle. When the moon is between the Earth and the Sun, it gets lost in the glare. We face the side of the moon that is not lit up and can't see any of it. This is called the new moon phase. That's not dark enough. When the lit half of the moon is starting to grow, we can only see a small sliver. Growing also means waxing, and this is called the waxing crescent phase. When the moon has completed 1/4 of its trip around the Earth, the right half appears to be lit by the Sun. This is called the first quarter phase. When the moon has grown to nearly but not quite yet a perfect circle, this is called the waxing gibbous phase. When the Earth is between the moon and the Sun, we see the same half of the moon that is being lit up. The moon is a full circle, and this is called the full moon phase. When the moon appears to be shrinking, a shadow starts to grow on its right half. Shrinking can also mean waning, and this is called the waning gibbous phase. When the moon has completed 3/4 of its trip around the Earth, the left half appears to be lit up by the Sun. This is called the third quarter phase. When only a small sliver of the moon is lit and visible to us, this is called the waning crescent phase. This means the new moon is near and the lunar cycle will repeat all over again. As you can see, even though half of the moon always faces the Sun and half is shadowed, it can look very different to us down here on Earth. Depending on where it is in orbit, we will be able to see a change in the moon's shape. Well, that's the lunar cycle. Now it's your turn to grab some Oreos and see if you can make all 8 phases of the moon.